Almost 3 decades later, System Shock is coming back. And by that I mean the original game has been completely overhauled and remade. But can this modern reimagining capture the essence of the original game? And is there anything new in store for fans? So with that, let's take a closer look at the System Shock remake and see what it takes to fully revive a classic. So the story behind System Shock is actually pretty complex, but if you ask me, it's more prescient and relevant than ever before. The reason for this is due to System Shock's primary antagonist, Sentient Hyper-Optimized Data Access Network, or Shodan for short. Shodan was created by the Tri-Optimum Corporation in order to serve as the artificial intelligence aboard the Citadel station. Now, without giving too much of the story away, the main reason why Shodan becomes the bad guy is, well, because of you. Okay, not you per se, but rather the character you play as in System Shock. Basically, the game's protagonist hacked Shodan and pretty much erased her decision guidance and ethical restrictions. So as the hacker, the events of System Shock are more or less you just cleaning up your own mess. Shodan is actually a very unique antagonist in that she is omnipresent. Since she is the AI that effectively controls the Citadel station, which is where the game takes place, she's always there. What makes System Shock so unsettling and creepy is the fact that Shodan is always watching you, and in fact, she'll openly mock and chastise you as you attempt to foil her plans. The inability to truly evade Shodan gives System Shock a particularly hard-hitting psychological edge, and coupled with the claustrophobic feel of the space station, System Shock ensures that the pressure remains as high as possible at all times. Now, there seems to be a lot of good news for the remake. First and foremost, Shodan is the main antagonist once again, and Terry Brosius, who provided the voice of the malevolent AI in the original game, also provides the voice of Shodan in the remake. This is arguably the best piece of news, as I simply can't imagine System Shock without the original iconic voice of Shodan. So it's great to see that this very important detail was top of mind for the remake's developers. I imagine that one of the most challenging aspects of the remake was transposing the visuals from the original game into a modern high-fidelity setting. 1994's System Shock had a pretty wild and varied color palette. While some areas featured an electric blue glow, others were almost entirely crimson. Thankfully, the remake repurposes these luminescent colors, albeit not quite so monochromatically. Naturally, the remake features all new graphics and textures, but for the most part the lurid colors are confined to glowing LEDs and light fixtures. It's also good to see that the boxed-in level design of the original is present in the remake. Passageways are characteristically narrow and many rooms small and cramped. That said, there are a few wider, more open areas to explore and several different environments to keep things fresh. Obviously, gaming has come a long way since 1994, so the System Shock remake understandably features some updates and enhancements. The first of these is updated controls. The System Shock remake makes the entire experience far more comfortable for gamers and even allows them to use a gamepad if they so desire. While this may be a fairly rudimentary consideration, updated configurable controls means you can play the game according to your personal preferences. The other important improvement in the System Shock remake is the overhauled interface. This greatly enhances navigability and makes gameplay a lot smoother and faster paced. However, this doesn't mean that you still won't be clicking around quite a lot. So while the System Shock remake doesn't necessarily solve all the problems of the original game, it's still a major improvement overall. Another element I have to highlight here is the original System Shock soundtrack. To briefly summarize, it's straight up fire. Now apparently the System Shock remake features all new sound and music, so I admittedly feel a little ambivalent about this. Personally, I hope that at least some of the tracks from the original game make it into the remake in some way or another, but should this not be the case, I hope that the new soundtrack at least pays tribute to the original. Beyond all of this, the System Shock remake has plenty of enemies for you to shoot and dismember. And no, not in the Dead Space sense of dismemberment. From the looks of things, a lot of time, thought and effort has gone into the System Shock remake. And with a team of developers that clearly cares about the source material, I think the System Shock remake will bring all the elements that made the original game so great to an entirely new, modern audience. The System Shock remake will release at some point in March 2023 and will be available on Xbox, PlayStation and PC. So that's pretty much all I've got to say for now. What are your thoughts on the System Shock remake? Does it honor and pay homage to the original game? Or do you think that Night Dive Studios has missed the mark? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel so I can keep bringing you hot content on a regular basis. That's it for now. From me and the hackers here at Metasquad, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Later!